Welcome to the On Home and Office podcast series, featuring technology tips from expert authors in home and office computing, part of the On Podcast Network at informit.com. For great deals on Mr. Excel's books and videos, visit informit.com/Mr. Excel.
Hey, welcome back to the On Home and Office podcast. I'm Bill Jelen. We talked about the macro recorder last time, and boy, I bet you were all excited. You ran off and started to use the macro recorder. I should have told you that it doesn't work. All right, that trivial example last week, it happens to work, but most of the time the macro recorder doesn't work. Here I have a situation where the lady from the Chamber of Commerce called me up and she said, "Hey Bill, I have some data in Excel and I need to do a mail merge. Can you teach me how to do the mail merge?" And I looked at the sign on the wall. It says Mr. Excel. It isn't Mr. Word. Mail merge, that's a word problem. I can barely even do the mail merge. I said, tell you what, just send me the data and I'll take care of it for you. Well, I had made a huge assumption. When she said Excel data mail merge, I assumed the data was set up correctly, but it's not. All of the data was in column A instead of name in column A, address in column B, city, state, zip in column C. And I said, oh, we're in trouble. I'm going to have to do 175 copy and paste special transposes to fix these records. But I said, what if I could record a macro that would solve this problem? So let me try it. Tools, macro, record new macro. Shortcut key, Control A. Where am I going to store it? Well, this is a one-time use macro. I'm never going to use it again. So I store it in this workbook. Click OK, and I go through and I fix the first record. I go down and I cut. I go up and I paste. I go down and I cut. I go up and I paste and I delete the blank rows and then make sure I'm positioned on the next record so that I can run the macro again. Okay, well, here's the bad thing. The macro recorder in Excel is so simplistic that it literally recorded these keystrokes. It said every time I press Control A, I'm going to go to cell A2 and I'm going to cut and I'm going to paste that cell to B1. And then I go to A3 and I'm going to cut and paste that cell to C1, and then delete rows 2, 3, and 4. Well, that macro was only good for the first record. It doesn't work after that. In fact, if I would just hold down Control A, I can now destroy data faster than ever before. Not a good thing. How can the macro recorder not do this? The Lotus macro recorder 20 years ago could do this, but the Excel macro recorder can't do it. So we're going to close this without saving. File close. Save changes no. We're going to try it again. Okay, so we have this data. We're going to do the exact same thing. Tools, macro, record new macro. Shortcut key of Control A, store it in this workbook. Let's take a look at that stop recording toolbar. There's two buttons on the stop recording toolbar. The first button, of course, is the button we've used before. It's called stop. But the second button, this is a strange little button. There's one red cell in cell C3 and a black arrow pointing to another red cell in C1. And if you hover, there's a tooltip there that says relative reference. Now, if I was on the Excel team at Microsoft, I would rewrite that tooltip. Here's what it would say. Press me if you want your macros to work. I would even add an editorial comment. Wouldn't it have been nice if we would have made this be the default so that way your macros would work all the time? So we turn that on. You see it has a nice little glow around it now. Now the macro recorder doesn't record that we go to A2. It says from wherever we started, go down one cell. Well, that's logically correct. Control X and then up one cell, over one cell, and paste. Back to the left, down 2, cut, up 2, over 2, paste. Delete the next 3 records and make sure you're on the name. Now, simply by turning on that second icon, the relative reference icon, I now have a macro that is going to work. In fact, I can just hold down Control A and fix all of these records very, very, very quickly. So as you're recording macros, think about it. If you're not always wanting to go to A2, if you want to go down from wherever you started, turn on the relative reference and you'll have much better luck getting the macro recorder to do what you need it to do.
Thanks for watching the On Home and Office podcast. For more episodes, check us out in iTunes or at informit.com/On Home and Office. Stay tuned for a word from Q Publishing. Q Publishing creates user-friendly technology guides on home and office technologies. Whether you're looking for beginner or advanced information on hardware, software, and gadgets, Q has the solutions you need to learn more fast. We publish a wide array of series to meet your learning needs, including the Business Solutions series, which focuses on everyday business programs such as Excel and Access. The Easy series is geared toward the visual learner looking for step-by-step instructions. The Live Lesson series are video training DVDs, which feature hours of personal instruction with an expert trainer. The On Demand series cuts straight through the clutter, providing concise and graphically rich guides. The Special Edition Using series features instruction from industry-recognized experts on topics such as Office, Photoshop, Windows, and Mac OS. Check out all our series today at informit.com/Q.